Hiya.
Hello.
Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit and Cross Stitch podcast / FlossTube. We tried to do that just a second ago and I ended up messing up, and then I started to curse, and then I tried to catch myself and I made up a new word.
Where's the top of my pen?
I ate it. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dammy, also known as Dammy's Doodles.
And we're glad to have you today. Today is Thursday, the 27th of February, 2020, and this is episode 385. Dammy, it's the end of February.
Mm-hmm.
This year is flying by. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys. To all our returning viewers, and a big hi to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. Dammy, if somebody would like a shout out on the podcast, what should they do, and what will it get them?
That's not how you say that.
I know. I thought I'd try something new.
Now I don't know what I say.
You should join.
You should join our group on Ravelry and introduce yourself in our introductions thread, because you'll get a shout out on our next episode and be able to participate in all our alongs and giveaways.
And we're announcing a new along today.
Yeah.
And
I'm working off my pattern.
One of the alongs, our current along, will be locking the FO thread Sunday morning. So get your pictures posted.
On Sunday.
In the park with George?
I've been listening to that on repeat.
Oh.
I should have put that in there.
Well, maybe we should. All right. Well, we have a lot to talk about because last week, in case you missed it, Dammy was not with me. She was sick. Dammy, you were sick. Are you better?
I'm sniffly, but that may be the onset of allergy season.
But I brought her medicine today, so. And so I did my very first Stitch With Me. You will get another Stitch With Me next week because I'm going to First Thursday at Acorns and Threads, which is a cross stitch shop. And so that happens the same day as we usually record. So, and Dammy's schedule won't let us record any other time, so I'll be doing another Stitch With Me next week. So stay tuned for that. But because we didn't record a regular episode last week, you were like halfway cut off of the screen. We have a lot to talk about today, including a review, so we should probably get started.
And now we're going to talk about what's on her needles.
Look at what is off of my needles. Look, Dammy.
Oh, one sock.
I know, I told the Dr. Hubs that he could have one warm foot.
Oh.
Yes. These are my 2020 Valentine's Day socks for the Dr. Hubs. He's being extremely patient with me because I'm having wrist pain in both wrists now. I don't know what I did to this wrist. This is from when I fell. So I am very limited on how much knitting I can actually get done in a day. So he's being very patient. This is my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern that you can get on Ravelry. It's a great first sock pattern if you've never knit socks before. There's been quite a few people who have learned how to knit socks from it. There's pink pearl hair all over these socks. And I did these on US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles, and the yarn is Kalispell sock in the Pretty Bird colorway. So here's sock number 1, and sock number 2 is on the floor. Here is sock number 2. So the toe is done, and I have just barely started on the foot. And here is my cute ginger kitty from a stitch marker from Ann Tudor. Isn't it cute?
Yeah.
One of these days I'm going to have a ginger kitty and her name is going to be Sorsha. I got the name from Father Brown. It's a TV show. And that's the only thing I'm knitting on because, as I said, I'm not able to knit very much at all, which is very, very sad. I had grand plans for lots of socks this year. So hopefully my wrists will start feeling better. I'm wearing, these are actually, they're compression things, but they actually go up on your hand and go, there's a thumb hole. But for some reason, it really hurts my thumb when I do that. And so I realized the other day, I was like, oh, I could fold these over and just wear them as like sleeves on my wrists. So hopefully that will help. So, well, that is everything I'm working on, but I have a couple of finished things. So let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about her finished projects.
She's
She's very proud of them.
two finished preemie hats because I didn't show anything last week because I did Stitch with Me. Okay, these are both for my top-down preemie hat pattern that you can find on Ravelry for free. This is number 7, and this is number 8. Number 7, they were both done on US 6's 4mm needles. Number 7 used Barocco Vintage CK in the white, cracked pepper, and blush colorway, and I held doubled. And number 8 is from the Vitellana Ambient Worsted in the Dawn Blush colorway. See, now that's more true to color back here. I don't know why it washes it out so much. Here we go, back here. So number 7 and number 8. I'm already almost up to like 20 FOs this year. Because, cross stitch. And 8 preemie hats. That is the only, that's 2 things that I finished this week, or the last 2 weeks. So, I'm very proud of those. I'm trying to make this segment longer. I don't know why, we have a lot to talk about. So, let's move on to the next one. And now it's time for FlossTube. Damn me.
I'm doing my first stitching in 2 weeks. Look, I have part of a W.
You have had a crazy quarter.
Uh-huh.
How much more do you have?
This is week 8. We have week 9, week 10, and finals week.
You're coming home soon.
To work, and then to go back to school.
And to see your baby and your mama and your daddy
My kitty.
and your mama.
I see my mama every week.
You haven't seen me in 2 weeks, and you won't see me again in 2 weeks. Wait, will that be finals week?
No, because you won't be here next week, which will be week 9, but you'll be here week 10. Week 11 is finals week.
And then, so I won't come week 11 or spring break because you're coming home on Thursday and we'll record at home.
Yeah.
That means I only have to come one more time, and then I get
A respite.
Well, no, I like to come, but it's very physically difficult to come because I have to get up very early, which is very difficult, and the fibromyalgia, and there's lots of walking and everything. Oh, speaking of walking, this is like off topic.
Why are you making things longer? We have lots to talk about.
Well, because it was something I mentioned in last week's episode. Because I was talking about that I needed to get back to doing my 10-minute yoga, my fibromyalgia yoga. And so I started last Thursday, and I've done it for 7 days in a row now. So I'll do it when I get home today. And one of you lovely viewers reached out, and we're now being accountability partners because she had just started doing Pilates, and she's got health issues as well. And so we're texting each other and being accountable. So you know who you are. Thank you. Okay. You want to talk about anything else about your... you didn't even tell us what it is.
This is the Madame Leota Tomb Sweet Tomb pattern by the Witchy Stitcher.
Did you see that article I sent you that had the mugs?
Yes.
And one of them was a haunted mansion, and the other was under the sea?
Yes. I wanted to get the D one, but I don't know what the Dapper Dans are.
Aren't they from Mary Poppins?
I don't know. I'll ask Kelly.
Okay, let me show you what I have been working on. First up is my Emily's House, which is a pattern by Lindy Stitches. And this is where I'm at. I only work on this on Monday nights at Stitching Group. So here is where I'm at.
House.
I worked on the portico this week.
House. In the middle of our house.
I want to get all of the outlining on the house done so that I can fill in. Well, actually, I have to do the windows, the lower windows too. I love the grays. Those grays. So, I am working on that. I am working on my Christmas list, which is a pattern by Silver Creek Samplers. I want to finish this in time for decorating for Christmas. We decorate at Thanksgiving. And I am there. Look at me.
Mistletoe.
So, I don't have it with me. I don't have the actual pattern with me. I think it's like right there in between pies and cookies. I think that's the halfway mark. Or maybe peace and goodwill. I don't know. Anyway, you can tell on the actual pattern. The Emily's House, I'm just stitching it with some people from Stitching Group and Pacific Northwest Stitchers, and the hashtag is PNW Emily's House South. I forgot to say that. So yes, I want to finish this in time for decorating for Christmas. And then the last thing I'm working on, which I am nearing completion, A Very Hildy Yule by Bindi Stitchy. This is Hildy. This is Brian, her boyfriend, who's also a bat. And this is Eek and Squeak, and I don't know the kitty's name. And I stopped mid working on Brian. This is where I'm at.
Brian.
I only have Brian and Hildy left.
Where's the kitty? Oh, there it is.
On the thing.
On the table.
So, which is kind of confusing because there's
Kitty on the table.
no, there's a fire under it. I think this is meant to be one of those like
Oh.
metal things that go over a fire sometimes. Or it could be a fireplace and this is the mantle.
I think it's a fireplace. That makes sense.
Because the Dr. Hubs said the same thing. He was like, why is there a fire under the table?
Oh, you know.
So I just have Brian and Hildy left. I was working on it on the ferry this morning, and then a knitter sat down at my table and started talking to me. So that happens sometimes, you know. So I will work on that. I might be done with this by next week when I do Stitch With Me. Dadgummit, I didn't open, hold on. Hold that thought, because I finished another certificate for Semi-Sane Stitchers. So Semi-Sane Stitchers, there's two things I'm doing. I am doing the background certificates, which is, there's a lot of different landmarks, and there's a number associated with them, and you stitch that many stitches. So I finished this one. I finished the Colosseum in Rome, Italy, for doing 1,835 stitches, which is the original diameter in Roman feet. So, and I'm over halfway done with the next one, but as we get further in, they up in number a lot. So it will be fewer and fewer that get done. But I'm also doing Mapping Your Literary Journey, where you stitch 25 stitches for each page in a book that you read. And I only have less than 275 stitches, and I'll be done with the first book. And it's a lot of stitches. I want to say it was like 8,000 stitches.
Is this for your 45-hour audiobook?
No. Goodness gracious, no. That would be like a bazillion stitches. No. This is for...
Harry Potter.
No, I can't remember what book it's for.
The Bible.
No. It's not for Poor Thomas Cold. Hold on.
Murdoch Mysteries.
No, that's Poor Thomas Cold. I haven't
Okay.
started that one yet. Hold on. Hold on. I can look it up. Right here. When it opens. It is for Twisted 26 by Janet Ivanovich.
Oh.
So, I'm almost done with that. Okay. There is a smidgen, there is more than a smidgen of cross-stitch stuff in Yummies. Oh no, what? You get a knot.
What is this?
A problem.
The tail tried to weave itself in.
Oh,
Thought
I
it was,
hate when that happens.
thought it was being helpful.
Yeah, it did. So there is some cross stitch in Yummies. So stay tuned for the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are Yummies, Dammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things. Things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. So I went to a fiber show a couple weeks ago now, I guess. And picked up just a couple of things. One is the shirt that I'm wearing. I'm so excited I finally got to wear it because I waited to wear it for the first time for y'all. So this is the, let me see if I can do this without standing up. There we go. The Nevertheless She Knitted shirt by Nerd Bird Makery. I put a link in the show notes. I've been wanting one of her shirts for a while. There we go. Nerd Bird Makery. And in fact, I tried to get one when we went to Knit City in Vancouver, but they're women's cut, and so they didn't have the size I need on hand. So, but they did at the show that I went to a couple weeks ago. So I got that. The other thing that I got is from Grace's Cases Designs. They're on Etsy. Oh, they also have a website. I will put that in the show notes. Look at this pouch.
Cutie.
I love a kitty with the fangs. This one looks like Pinky, except for Pinky doesn't have blue eyes.
Or crossed eyes.
Or crossed eyes.
And isn't gray.
So does she look like this kitty up here that we can't see?
Probably. Oh, that's another bub. Oh, wait a minute. This one is that one.
Oh.
I would say pink looks the most like the Fang Kitty.
Oh, like Fang Kitty?
All of them.
And then it's just kind of a brown inside. They had a project bag of this, and I was like, I need another project bag, like I need a hole in my head. And then, but I loved the fabric. And then I saw they had some of the like pyramid-y triangle ones, and like small ones, and I was going to get one of those, and then as I got up close to pay, they had these, and I was like, I will get the most use out of this. So I got this, and now I can use it now that I have shown y'all. Okay, so about a week and a half ago, my cross-stitch group that meets on Monday nights, we had a Celebrate Friendship thing, and all of the regulars were there.
Yes.
Which doesn't happen very often, that we all are there at the same time. As well as we had 3 guests from out of town, and it was lovely. And I'm going to put pictures up on the screen. I didn't bring everything. People brought gifts and all kinds of stuff. I didn't bring it all with me because my backpack was so full already, and also, I bought a sheep called Cordelia, is her name, and my friend Jessica bought a sheep as well. She's the one that bought the sheep first, and its name is Ambrose. So,
Please clarify that it's not a real sheep.
no, it's not a real sheep. It's a, you'll see it on the screen. So there's pictures of the group. I bought my first Ray Dunn. I need my caffeine mug. That's Becca. Her fault, Sambry Stitches. We got lots of lovely little things. We got, candies and floss and floss rings and a little star that says "It's You I Like" cross-stitched on it, and a quilted heart. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. So there was that. And then my friend Becca bought me these socks. They're also from Joann's Crazy Craft Lady. They're sparkly, you can't really tell. And they have all kinds of stuff, but look, it has knitting needle. But the pink is sparkly, it's got glitter in it, and I don't think you can see it. There's a little bit of glitter. So, Crazy Craft Lady, that's me. I got this month's fabric from my Fortnite Fabrics shipment. Oh, I didn't look it up to see which mushroom it was that was for this one. But I get the 28 count even weave fabric. And it's this like gray.
Ooh, it tickles.
I don't know if you can see, like, oh, there you go. You can kind of see the the depths to it. But I'm going to use this fabric, well, the plan at this moment is, I'm going to use this fabric for the Hildy's Brew pattern, which was the first Hildy pattern by Michelle Bindi Stitchy. So I am excited about that. And then we also got this month's knit crate. So this month the yarn is Adine Wool's Shine Sport, which is an 80% superwash merino, 20% tencel, sport weight, 100 grams, 350 yards in the sky colorway. It's got purples and blues in it. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see. They're a little bit darker than what you're seeing, but oh, that really washed out. There we go. There's that. And there was this button from Incomparable Buttons. Incomparable Buttons, or Incomparable.
No.
That give employment to women in South Africa. They make handmade, fully washable buttons. Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I got to figure out something to put that on. And then we have the little magazine booklet. So there are 2 knit patterns and 2 crochet patterns. Well, I guess. So there's a Sand Dunes hat and hand warmers knit pattern by Petra Machova.
Kurilova.
Done on US 2s and US 3s. So there's that there. And then there is the Nora Toque and fingerless gloves, which are crocheted by Carolyn Carleton. Done on a US F5 hook. And then there are the Cloud Chaser socks by Vanessa Ewing, done on US 1s. And they are cuff down. And then there are, those are knit obviously, and then there's the Melon Sorbet socks by Liz Salazar. They're crochet. They're on USC 2 hook. And the theme for next month is Wanderings.
Little snicky snake.
I know we're covering that up.
No. Little snicky snake.
So that is that. And Knit Crate gives us a coupon code to give to y'all. There's a link in the show notes for it. But the coupon code is all capital letters, Geeky, Geeky, and the number 20, Geeky20, to get 20% off of your first order. It will work to discount the first month of a recurring monthly subscription and any of their shop items. Is that everything over here? I think so. Do you have anything?
No.
Okay. Let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. What is it, Dammy?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month, so you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like. But we pick our favorites from Instagram.
That's right. So this month, February, has been Alphabet Soup. Today, the day we're recording it, is letter Z, and then tomorrow is, I guess, the number 2, and then Saturday is Leap for leap year. And then we've released the March list, and it's colors. Every day is a different color. So, Dammy, what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked, and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
Here come the photos. Great job, everybody.
Yay.
So, it's never too late to join in. You take a look at the prompt for the day. Today's the letter Z. You interpret that however you wish. We're very cheater friendly on this. You take your picture, you post it on Instagram. Make sure in the caption you use hashtag GGKCraftyPad because that's how we find your photos. If you are participating in GGK Crafty Pad and you have a private account on Instagram, you need to make sure that Dammy's Doodles is following you. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. Otherwise, we can't see your photos. So send her a message, Dammy's Doodles, and she will follow you. We have I have an upcoming event. Well, the Dr. Hubs is going with me too. But I am going to be at the Grazing Hills Fiber Fest in Viola, Idaho on Saturday and Sunday, the 11th and 12th of July. Their website is linked in the show notes. And exciting news just got confirmed. I don't know if I'm officially supposed to tell them, but I'm going to tell you anyway. They didn't say I couldn't, so I'm going to be teaching a continental knitting class on Saturday the 11th from 10 to noon.
Ooh.
Registration for the classes has not started yet, but it will be up on the website. So you have to know how to knit English style throwing in order to take the class. So hopefully my wrists will be feeling better by then. Okay, that's the only event that I know of at the moment, other than our normal Monday night cross-stitch group, Kitsap Cross Stitchers. We meet at the Michaels in Silverdale, Washington, on Monday nights from 5 to 8:30. And Wednesday nights, the Kitsap Knitwits meet at the Barnes & Noble Cafe at the Silverdale Mall from 6 to 9 p.m. for knitting. So, all right, I think we're ready to move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
So what are you reading, Tammy?
So I am done reading. I can put it as that. I'm done reading As You Like It in the Merchant of Venice by Shakespeare.
Okay, well, what are you reading then?
Various scientific journal articles for a paper. I was reading various things on Buddhism too for a presentation.
Okay.
That's where the bulk of my reading was taken with.
Okay.
Let's see what I read next week.
And you're also reading something else. Sorry, I swallowed wrong.
The Glass Scientist, which is a webcomic by Sabrina Katungo. Someone just passed by on a Segway.
Okay.
They won't get far on this campus with a Segway.
No, there's lots of stairs. The Glass Scientists.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you say who it was by?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I missed it. I assume you're getting 15 minutes a day of reading in.
Yeah.
What am I referring to?
The January.
July.
No, I almost said June. The January, February, March RAL read along.
So this is a challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day every day. I don't care what you're reading, as long as you're reading. Audiobooks do count. There is info in the show notes as well as in the Ravelry group for both our quarterly seasonal read-alongs, as well in which you earn entries into our year-long challenge where you can win one of 3 grand prizes at the start of 2021. Okay.
It's sooner than you think.
It is. Okay, let me tell you what I am reading. I am still rereading. Well, obviously, I'm going to be rereading this the whole year probably because we're only doing a chapter a week or every 2 weeks. The 5th book in the Harry Potter series, The Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling. I'm rereading this along with Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast and Swish and Flick and All Potter podcast. So since we recorded together last, we did the second half of the Noble and Most Ancient House of Black, and then we did the Ministry of Magic, which is where Harry goes with Arthur to the Ministry of Magic for his trial, for his hearing that was supposed to be in an office and then got moved to a courtroom. You're under arrest. So Arthur just got him to the courtroom,
Ministry
and
of Magic is scary.
Arthur just got him to the courtroom, and he has to go in by himself. Arthur can't go in with him. That's where the chapter ended.
Ooh.
I finished reading The View from Rock Bottom, Discovering God's Embrace in Our Pain by Stephanie Tate. Probably the best book I have read on the theology of suffering, but it's very readable. It's not overly academic. And then I am reading Permission Granted, Be Who You Were Made to Be and Let Go of the Rest by Melissa Kamara Wilkins, which was recommended to me by a friend. I finished reading books 5 and 6 of the Detective Murdoch series by Maureen Jennings.
Ow.
I'm waiting for the next book. They didn't have it at the library. Hopefully they're interlibrary loaning it for me. I read The Beast Within, A Tale of Beauty's Prince, which is the second book in the Villain series by Serena Valentino. I finished listening to the 57 zillion hour long audiobook of The Stand by Stephen King, but that gives me another book done on my Modern Mrs. Darcy challenge, which is a way you can earn bonus entries into the year-long reading challenge.
So what category was this for? A
This-
genre you don't usually read?
No, it was for a book that was published in the decade you were born. So,
Stephen King's just been around forever.
and this was like book was updated, so it was brought forward about 10 years, and it had like 500 pages of material that was originally cut out.
That man can write.
That's why it was 47 hours long. I got about halfway through listening to it at 1.5 speed, which is my norm, and I was like, okay, and upped it to 2 times speed. It took forever to listen to, but I had to finish it within 21 days because there was more people on hold for it at the library.
Okay.
Okay. I finished reading book 16 and I'm reading I finished reading book 15 and I'm reading book 16 of the J.P. Beaumont series by J.A. Jance. I just started book 16 last night, and thus far we have not seen our main character, Beau, and I'm a few chapters in.
Oh,
So
he's hiding.
he is hiding. I finished reading book 42 of the In Death series by J.D. Robb. I read the library book by Susan Orlean, which was not what I expected it to be, but it actually ended up being really interesting. It ended up being a nonfiction book about the Central Library in Los Angeles being burned down or set on fire, and they lost a lot of books and all this, and the investigation, and but there was also history of libraries and such all through it, and the history of the Los Angeles Library, and
Library.
so actually I used that one for a genre I don't normally read. It was historical nonfiction.
Ooh.
Which I don't normally read. I finished reading book 15 of the Cat series by Lillian Jackson Braun. It was a really good one. And I also finished reading Poor Unfortunate Soul, A Tale of the Sea Witch, which is the third book in the Villain series by Serena Valentino. I am woefully behind on watching Hallmark movies. I have 4 waiting to be watched.
Oh, no.
4 to watch. I finished watching series 15 and I'm watching series 16 of Silent Witness. Harry left, but there was nothing. The series 15 ended and Harry was there working, and series 16 started and they were like, oh, he's left. He went to teach in America.
Oh.
And I was telling the Dr. Hubbs this, and he was like, they tend to do that a lot in British shows.
He went to America.
No, that they the actor is just gone all of a sudden.
Oh.
We finished watching season 3 of Wynonna Earp, and season 4 is currently being filmed. Season 17 of NCIS, there was this whole episode about a dating app, and Gibbs threw a phone into the fireplace because somebody tried to set him up on the dating app.
No. Oh, goodness.
And then there was an episode about where they were imagining themselves as the people in this case from the 1970s. And it was so funny. Oh my gosh. Gibbs had a full head of hair. Yeah. It was really funny.
Cursed.
We're watching The Flash season 6, watching Stumptown season 1, Criminal Minds, the series finale. I cried and cried and cried and cried. They were playing it off as Rossi was leaving, and then it ended up being Penelope that left. She was still staying in the same town, but she was gonna go work for an environmental agency, like a nonprofit type place. We're watching season 1 of Star Trek Picard, 7 of 9. Love her. The Sinner season 3, series 9 of Death in Paradise. Outlander season 5 started. This show is not safe for children. The books are not safe for children. Dammy's an adult now, so if she wants to read it or watch it, she can, but she doesn't. That I know of.
I mean, maybe later. I just don't have time.
Yeah. So, the wedding happened, and Brianna overheard that Stephen Bonnet, is still alive, and Jamie released Murtaugh from his vow that he had made when Jamie was a child, when his mother died, to always be by his side. And then Bonnet is so evil. So, do you see all the O's I put in? So evil.
Yes.
Doctor Who Series 12. The Lone Cyberman. He's unfinished and still has his emotions. And then there's 3 new types of Cybermen. And the Master's back, and they're heading to Gallifrey, and it's the Series 12, the second half of the Series 12 finale on Sunday.
No.
Yes. Watching NCIS LA season 11. It seems like Hetty is going to retire, and Callanan is going to take over. NCIS New Orleans season 6. My new favorite TV show ever, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist season 1. So she had an MRI, and it made her able to hear people's innermost thoughts in song and dance. Lauren Graham from Gilmore Girls is in it. I read an interview with her, and she was like, it's like the early days of Gilmore Girls. I love it. It is so good. You should watch it. You would like it. Supergirl season 5. When Calls the Heart season 7 just started. Call the Midwife series 9. Endeavor series 7. Prodigal Sons season 1. Boardwalk Mysteries season 13. The ladies did the investigating in the last episode we watched. Agatha Raisin series 3 and SCHITT' Creek season 6. Listening to My Favorite Murder, my CC's Faves playlist, that epically long audiobook that's now over, so now I'm trying to get caught up on podcasts. What about you, Dammy?
Sunday in the Park with George.
Oh, I need to put that in.
Yeah. Captain Pressure. Spotify playlists.
Alrighty. That's everything we're reading, watching, and listening to, so let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about our December, January, and February.
Walking in a winter wonderland.
So, I'm not going to go into detail about it because the last day of the owl is Saturday, the 29th. That means the FO thread is closing on the morning of March the 1st. So if you're up in the early hours of March the 1st, that's your last chance to post your projects.
Because once I lock the thread, it's all over.
You'll probably pick winners right then, will you?
Yep.
Yep, you will. So instead, I'm just going to read people who finished FOs in the past 2 weeks.
That's right.
Yeah. So, A. Bingham, DJID, I Now Hour, Gia Z, I Knit Socks 2, Jodadiah, K Say Mama, Knit Fantasy, Lil Angel SG2, Lil Mermaid, Mamma Mia 64, Mary Beth 1199, Meditative Crafter, Mystery Sewer, Nicole S, Nikki Knits, Russ Strauss, Sam Ash Williams 94, Silver Luna 2112, Try Linda, and Yarn Taxi Driver.
Great job, everybody. Get those projects posted before I lock the thread and you're out of luck. But that means we have a new owl starting on Sunday, so let's tell you about it.
And now we're going to talk about our March, April, May sheepy spring owl. Oh, I just remembered this sound clip you used for this.
For the
Yes.
image. Bah, bah.
So, I will go into all the rules for this owl. So this owl begins on the 1st of March and it runs to the 31st of May. And it's for any project that you can knit, crochet, weave, spin, stitch, or sew that you can convince us is related to spring. You can do that by your project's color, colorway name, purpose, pattern, pattern name, design element, or if you can't think of anything, you made it in the spring.
I just thought we won't announce prize winners next week because I'll be doing a Stitch with Me.
Yes.
So it'll be the week after that when we announce the winners for the Winter Wonderland Owl.
So there are a couple main rules for this owl. The first is that no whips are allowed. Your project must have been begun no earlier than the 1st of March and then finished no later than the 31st of May. And then each project that you knit, crochet, weave, or spin must be at least 20 yards. If your project is not at least 20 yards, it needs to be grouped in a single post together with other projects that total together at least 20 yards. That's a lot of
20 yards.
That's a lot of words. For stitching and sewing projects, we leave it up to your best judgment, but if you want a ruling, you can PM Java Pearl on Ravelry or email us at geekygirlsknit@gmail.com.
Yes.
You can feel free to polydip and other alongs as long as it fits in with other rules. That's totally fine. We've got lots of lovely prizes on our screen right now, and we're also going to tell you what they are.
Yeah, because next week won't be the first podcast of the month.
Yeah, we're also going to tell you what they are. If you want to get closer looks at these or see where they came from, you can turn into the first-ish podcast of every month or go to our show notes, geekygirlsknit.com. Thank you so much to our donors. And if you're interested in donating a prize, you can PM Java Pearl on Ravelry or email us at geekygirlsknit.com. So, first we have a honeybee project bag and stitch marker made and donated by Teresa Jassy Creations of Jassy Creations on Etsy.
We have Lion Brand Magic Stripes yarn in the Jelly Bean colorway. We have 3 skeins, so 3 winners will each win 1 skein.
We have a print of Karen Hallian's She's Got Help Marvel artwork.
We have a Plymouth Owl shawl pin from Eileen, who is Leaner on Ravelry.
We've got from Pangea's Jewels a leaf stitch marker set.
And we have a skein of CJ Copic Creations Integrity in the Purple Passion colorway, also donated by Eileen, who is Leaner on Ravelry.
Those are our prizes.
Yay.
Thank you so much to our donors. You must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry in order to participate. I'm not saying the whole new long name.
And cross stitch.
No. There's a hashtag if you'd like to tag your projects or post on social media. It's GGKCS Spring 20. What is...
Geeky
why?
Because some people might enter their cross stitch projects.
You can just make it GGK though. Are we going to change it to GGKCS Crafty Pad?
No.
I don't.
GGKCS Spring 20.
I don't understand your reasoning. The FO thread, like we said, will be locked on the morning of the 1st of June, and winners will be drawn for the next podcast after that. Any winners will have 30 days to claim their prize or they forfeit it. There's a chatter thread on Ravelry too where you can post about your progress and congratulate each other. I have no one to say finished projects because this hasn't begun yet.
Yes. The reason we're not changing GGK Crafty Pad is because that hashtag has been a hashtag forever. This we change the hashtag every 3 months.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, part of our show where you ask us things and we try to answer them.
This week's question is for Dammy. Andrea, who is Angie's Hip from Ontario, Canada, asks, Dammy, do you keep in touch with the friends you made in Scotland?
Kind of. We've got family friends that I talk to. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would have been different if you had been in actual school and not homeschooled.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you're Facebook friends with some people from your like theater group and such.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you want to go back to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
I told her only if she adopts me and takes me with her.
There's a study abroad that goes to Edinburgh during September, and I want to go, but I can't justify it.
You would have to adopt me and take me with you. Is that legal? Can a daughter adopt her mother? So, Andrea, thanks for the question. Dammy, if somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it.
Or if you're not on Ravelry, you can post it in the YouTube comments and we will copy it over just so we can keep them in order. There's not ever been a question we haven't been willing to answer, so post, and as long as we're comfortable, we will answer it. All right, let's move on to the next segment.
And now we have a review.
Pom Pom Quarterly, the new issue. Issue number 32, spring 2020. Can I tell you that when I saw this cover, when they first released the sneak peeks, and I saw this model in her wheelchair, it made me cry. Because if you've been watching for a while, you know I was in a wheelchair for several years, and I just love the diversity. Love the diversity, and I love the sweater. So let's run through the patterns. So first up we have the
Suceris
by Joji Locatelli. So this is a circular yoked pullover, and Joji designed it for flowers, fragrance, and romance after the long cold spell indoors. So here is a close-up of like the alternating bands of color and pattern. Let's see. Here we go. There's some other photos of it. So this comes in 9 sizes, from a finished chest circumference of 33 and a half to 64 and a quarter with 4 to 6 inches positive ease. It's done in fingering weight yarn and 2 colorways of that, and a lace weight yarn. It's a merino silk fingering and a kid mohair polyamide lace weight. Yum. Done on US 3s, 3.25 mil, and US 2s, 2.75 mil. And this alternates between using different yarns, different ones of the 3 yarns together and separately. I love this. I would like to make it. I would lengthen it though, because we know that I am not a cropped sweater girl. So next up is, I guess it's Vayu.
Mm-hmm.
This is a crocheted shawl by Lana Joyce. The use of negative space is what inspired the shawl's name. Vayu is air in the 5 elements of matter in the Hindu cosmos. So she used negative space as a design element for this. It's very pretty. You can make it in 2 different sizes. There's one that's 73 inches long by 23 inches wide, and one that's 88 inches long by 29 inches wide. And it's done with a light fingering weight on a USG 4mm crochet hook, and it's worked sideways from one tip to the other. Okay, and then we have Aloft by, you want to try to say that name?
Bronte Swanik, like Charlotte Bronte.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure about the last name. This was inspired by Candy Floss Clouds of Dusk. The Candy Floss Clouds of Dusk. Mm-hmm. It was achieved by, the super soft texture was achieved by working plush fisherman's rib with 2 yarns held together in a marl. It's worked in the round from the bottom up. There's that. That shows you that nice plump texture. And it's another cropped one, which seem to be all the rage right now. This is done in 9 sizes with from a finished chest circumference of 37 3/4 to 69 3/4 with a 6 to 8 inch positive ease. It's done with a fingering weight and a heavy lace weight on US 7s, 4.5 mil needles, US 2.5, 3 mil, and US 4s, 3.5 mil needles. And again, it's worked in the round from the bottom up. Okay, and then we have
Abad.
by
Abed.
Natalia Sinelshikova.
And the name, what did you say it was? Abed?
Abed.
Abed is traditionally a song sung to a lover on parting in the morning, but it's become a general term for morning song. Design was inspired by the first beams of sunlight breaking through the night. So there's that. And they've got it knit up in 2 different colorways, or 2 different color combinations. There's another picture of it. Okay, so this is in 8 sizes, from a finished chest circumference of 40 3/4 to 72 1/4 with 6 to 12 inches of positive ease. So I'm sorry, I'm looking at the yarn. Okay, it's a lace weight and a fingering weight that are held together. Sorry, it was confusing. Oh no, okay, I get what it's saying. Okay, so you need 2 colors of the lace weight and 2 colors of the fingering weight, and then a strand of each of the 2 is held together. Is what it's trying to say. Sorry, that would confuse me a little bit. It's because there's 2 different color combos, and so it was making it even more confusing. This is done on US 4's 3.5 mil, and US 3's 3.25 mil, and US 2.5 3 mil needles, and US 1.5 2.5 mil needles. A lot of needles. It's a top-down cropped pullover with a slip stitch colorwork yoke and folded cuff and hem. It's got an Italian cast on. I've never done that before. Interesting. I'll have to look that up because I don't think I know the Italian cast on. So, okay, then we have the
Niebla.
by Camilla Larson.
Isveje.
This recreates the fog in Camilla's home in the Andes. And it uses brioche. It's very puffy and yummy. I love the sleeves on this one. Aren't those gorgeous? Puff sleeves. And Shirley would wear this in a heartbeat. This is in 8 sizes, from a finished chest circumference of 35.5 inches to 61 3/4 inches with 2 to 4 inches of positive ease, using a fingering weight and a lace weight, using US 3's 3 mil needles and US 1's 2.5 mil needles. It's a top-down yoke sweater worked in the round. The yoke is designed to fit with significant negative ease due to the stretchy nature of the brioche stitch, while the sleeves and the body have positive ease. But there's another picture of it. It's beautiful. Love that. Love that. Okay, next up is the aperture. Or is it aperture? Aperture by Mara Nicole Taylor. And they talk about like the aperture in a camera, the tiny hole responsible for the photograph. And the motifs that Mara used celebrate the beauty and the potential of openings, garter rows interspersed with eyelet dots, followed by open lace border of yarn overs and decreases. there's that. And this is in one size, 98 inches by 21.5 inches. Done with a fingering weight on US 6 4mm needles. Work sideways in an all-over eyelet pattern, beginning at one tip and finishing with a wide lace border. Okay, and then we have,
Carrie.
yes, it's like my sister's name, but not spelled the same. Carrie by, oh, how would you say that first name?
Winkett Percherman.
Okay. So she talks about air moving in any and all directions. She was inspired by the musical theme from Peter and the Wolf. And carry is a Scots word for the quick movement of clouds. It's knit in the round from the bottom up. Very pretty. This comes in 10 sizes with a finished chest circumference of 33.5 inches to 70.5 inches with 4 to 8 inches of positive ease. It's done in a fingering weight on US 4's 3.5mm needles. Yeah. So there's that one. And then we have the Chapman by Megan Fernandez. And she was inspired by the traditional tartans and plaids. And the negative space where an additional flat color would normally sit. Oh, and it was, the name comes from a lyric from the Tracy Chapman song Telling Stories that says there's a fiction in the space in between. Beautiful. Oh, look at those tassels. This is in one size, 63 inches long by 18 inches wide, not including the tassels. And it's in a finger, you need a fingering weight and a DK weight on US 7's 4.5mm needles. So the fingering weight is the main color and the slip stitches and alternate rows are the DK. And you carry the non-working yarn up the side so that you don't have to break the yarn and weave in a bazillion ends. Next up is the Solasta by Amalia Cyber. And they were reminded of airborne energies such as gases, waters, microorganisms, particles, and pollution. And the charged particles from the sun that strike the smallest atoms in the atmosphere. And they also talk about the aurora borealis. And, oh, how funny. The pattern grew out of Amalia's desire to use up the skein ties that she cuts off the skein she dyes for her own yarn brand. They seem too precious to throw away. And they named it Solasta, the Scots word meaning luminous or shining. And look at the sleeves. Look at those puffy sleeves. What a glorious feeling, those puffy sleeves. Okay, so it's done in 9 sizes from 30 to 62.5 inch finished chest circumference with a 2-inch positive ease. You use a lace weight and a fingering weight, and then you need 10 to 30 grams of sock yarn scraps in a fingering weight. It's done on US 5's 3.75 and US 6's 4mm needles. It's top down. It's got a provisional cast on to form the deep boat neck. So the circular yoke is decorated with colorful yarn scraps marled with a brushed alpaca yarn in a pattern that fades out along the chest. Okay, for the scrap marling, what they say is, instead of using 2 separate balls of yarn, tie the end of the scrap yarn, a yarn scrap, to the working yarn. Work the next stitch with the working yarn only, and then marl knit holding both the yarn, the main yarn, and the scrap together until you have 1 inch left of the scrap. And then tie the end of the scrap to the working yarn twice for a more secure knot. Interesting. Very pretty. Oh, and it's got like a thing that tells you where to place the scraps based on the size. That's really cool. Okay, like that a lot. Then we have Lacuna, which is by Rosemary Rami Hill. It honors the vitality of the spaces in between. It's a reminder of the generative power of silence and rest. It's a nudge to resist the urge to fill every gap. I love this. This would be such a nice layering piece in the spring and summer. And I love the sleeves, and I love the asymmetrical hem. So it is done in 8 sizes, from a 42 to a 70-inch finished chest circumference with 10 to 14 inches of positive ease, using a fingering weight yarn on US 2s 2.75 and US 5s 3.75 mil needles. It's knit from the top down. Yeah, it's very pretty. I really like that one a lot. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to turn the pages. Okay, and that's all the patterns. And then there is an interview with Jacqueline Cieslak,
Sure.
called Liminal Bodies. And she talks about, she's an knitting and activist she's a knitter and also an activist on body positivity, and she talks about her journey and about the stigma and about making her own clothing, and she recommends some other resources and thinkers about body positivity and fat acceptance. But this photograph, holy cow, stunning, absolutely gorgeous. And the interview is amazing too. And then we have a tutorial for a floating floral arrangement by Ocean Rose, who was also was she the guest editor? Is that what they called her? Or the art direction and styling for this issue. But it's a great tutorial to make this beautiful piece. And then we have all the pattern stuff. And then the recipe of this issue is for meringues, both chocolate hazelnut and strawberry. I don't bake, but man, I need somebody to make me some meringues. And then we have just the closing touch. So that is Pom Pom Quarterly number 32, spring 2020. What was your favorite pattern?
Oh, I think the first one, I liked it.
Yeah, the cover one by Ho He. I love that one. I love the this one, the Nibla with the puffy sleeves. And I loved the Solasta, also with the puffy sleeves. Puffy sleeves, can you see a theme there? And I love this one by Rami Hill, the Lacuna, because I think it would be such a great layering piece. This gets high marks from me. Really enjoyed it. What do you think?
Yes.
As always, we adore Pom Pom Quarterly. We purchased the subscription for this on our own. They don't send this to us, but we love it so much that we love to share it with you. And then Dr. Hubs laughs at me every time it comes. I open it and I go, because it smells so good. Love it. Check it out today and get your own copy. And I really want to make this and some of the other sweaters. All right, let's move on to the next segment. Dammy,
Yes.
we made it into the show.
Yeah.
It was a long one. Thanks for sticking with us. I don't think we have any announcements. We've already told y'all that next week will be a Stitch With Me episode, since I'll be going to First Thursday. And then the week after that, I'll be back here to record a regular episode. And that's when we'll announce the Winter Wonderland Owl Prize winners. And then the next 2 weeks after that, you will be home.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll record together at home. And then it'll be time for Dammy to start her spring quarter. You registered for classes this week.
Yep.
Okay, well, we'd like to say a humongous thank you to everyone who supports the podcast, no matter how it is you do it. We wouldn't be doing this podcast / FlossTube without y'all, so we're very grateful for you. But a special thank you to those of you who support us financially. There's 3 main ways you can support us financially. The first is Patreon, which is the main one, which is a place where you pledge a certain amount a month to your favorite creatives, and you earn rewards based on the level that you donate at. We've talked a little bit about it, but we need to flesh it out some more. Maybe while you're home for spring break, we can talk about it, about changing up some of the rewards. Mm-hmm. Because right now all of our rewards are geared towards knitters, and we have some people who are not knitters watching the show now. So we will do that during spring break and see what we can. I have some ideas. So, but if somebody's interested in learning more about that or wants to sign up, where should they go?
Patreon.com/geekygirlsnet.
What's another way?
There's a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you'd like to make a one-time donation.
And we are Amazon.com.co.uk and .ca affiliates. If you go to our website and look in the sidebar or at the bottom of the show notes, you can click on your appropriate Amazon. You do your shopping as normal, and we earn a little money back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support us by doing something you would be doing anyway. So, well, with that, I think we're going to tell you goodbye. We hope you have a lovely rest of your lovely weekend. It's Thursday. We hope you have a lovely weekend. Get ready for March, and I'll be back with you next week with a Stitch With Me, and then Dammy will be back with us in 2 weeks for a regular episode. Until then, happy crafting, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
I'm sweeping in the sun, just sweeping in the sun. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. Just sweeping in the sun.